Hello and welcome back to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time we ended up doing... That's actually a good question. I don't remember. It's been a few days because I had to get some other stuff done to prep for this video. But we'll go ahead and jump straight into what we've got for today, which is our very first fusion reactor. I managed to get all of the stuff prepped up, and that's why I don't remember what we were doing, because I kept having to come back to make more trinium, because it was never enough. I think we upgraded our oil and drilling last time, because that was one of the things I was working on over the weekend, was getting enough materials to be able to build all of these blocks. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we need to do. I'll grab that out, because I'm going to need that in a little bit. What we need to do to build this thing. That might have been the data hatch right here. Anyways, so it specifically said in the menu that we should want to use the one with the reactor glass so that we can conserve as much materials as possible, as these fusion machine casings are expensive. So it looks like we need to start with a circle with a 3-block, 2-block, 1-block drop on every side. And it looks like we take our inputs. Yeah. So our inputs are going to be on every 3-block spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on those corners. So let us go ahead and do that. So we need to make sure we have enough space. I want to start it probably right here. So I'll do 1. Where is our input? Here's our input hatches. I think I actually want our inputs that we're going to use on this side. Because then I can wire them into the system from here. Actually, it might be better to just put them right there, like that. And 2-block, 1-block, block, and our input hatches once again. And then 2-block, 1-block, 2-block, hatch, block, hatch, 2, 1, 2, hatch, block, hatch, 2, 1, 2. And there is our bottom set. And now this is going to be our outputs on the 4 there, as well as our inside block. And this is where we can use our glass. We're missing some blocks. I'm gonna have to go ahead and craft those up really quick. So it's our input hatches on the big sides. Right over our 1-block, we're gonna have our energy inputs, and then glass everywhere else. Let's grab our super conducting coils. Just need 4. It's not too many. So that should be able to finish up while we are doing this. But we'll take our output hatches and might as well put a filler block in here to make sure we can get our stuff set up properly. There's our filler block. We're going to go our output hatch. I want right there. And go ahead and wrench that down because that's the direction I want to exit it out of. And now we need our reactor glass. Go ahead and sandwich that with our, where's our other output hatches? There we go. 2. I don't know if we really have enough to be doing. There's 1 there, and then we've got our LUV inputs right there, and then we'll put 1 there. And now we can go ahead and do reactor glass. Reactor glass. I guess I should have put that right there. So our other energy hatch goes there. Let's pick up all of our blocks here. After we get that fusion reactor part down. Input. And then we go glass, glass. Okay, that takes that block out. And we can put that back down here so we can actually place our blocks down. 1, 2. It's number 2. And there's 4 there. And then this one can take it just like that. One, 2. I think this one's supposed to take 1. Just like that, and that. Go ahead and double check that before I get too far. Yeah. That is right. But we're gonna have to go ahead and pick up our stone again. Get our filler blocks out of the way. Glass there. 1 second, guys. Okay. I guess we can place our filler block right here this time, as well as right there. On this one, we placed right there so we can get our glass down. Now we need our output hatch, our glass, our output hatch, and then output, glass, output. And pick this one up and move it. And do our glass, glass. Which I don't know why I moved it there. Be a lot better right there. We'll put our output hatches over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we need our... So this is where we go back to our energy inputs. 1 energy input and glass. And then we go our energy input there. Put that there. Energy inputs. Energy inputs. I do want to check to see if we got those superconducting blocks. Not quite. Got 1 of the 4. That should take a second. We got glass there. Our glass, glass. Energy input. Energy input. Glass there. This layer is almost done, but we don't want to finish it up till we have the other blocks to place down. So we got our output, 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 glass, 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 and our last 2 for the layer. Have an extra glass, or did I just miss a spot? Looks like it's all there. Always worrisome when you have an extra block and you don't know why. Go there, go there. Oh, that's why. Because we got the... Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So we're at 1 of our superconducting coils, which go into the corner here. Let's go check up on the progress. Make sure things are still going smoothly. Yeah, we're just making our indium, barium, titanium cuprate, which is still just going on out here. Just takes the 101 seconds each. So I did upgrade to the LUV hole, or hatch. Just want to check on power consumption right now. So we got till 5 hours. I guess in the meantime, we can figure out getting our energy piped over here. And starting to fill one of these energy hatches. Do we actually have a spot to bring over? No. I think I'll leave these hatches pointed the direction they are. We'll go ahead and switch out this one. And this one. So I'll actually be able to check out on the flow of our items. Alright, well now we're going to go ahead and start closing in the top. As we can wait for those coils while we get the top enclosed. Particularly the side that is already covered. So there's that there. And now we do our outputs again for our input hatches. So input hatch, boom, and input hatch. Same on this side. We go over this way to our input hatches. Input, reactor, and input. Okay, now I think we're going to power it through this spot right here. So we're going to go ahead and mine down. Be able to start wiring some cable down that way. Might be able to go ahead and do something like this. And wire it straight across. Not straight across, but this will work. Right to here. So one block over. We will go straight back to our machine. I think barely have enough. Oh no, I guess it's more. We're good. Now we will go ahead and break. Break that one so I can get both of these blocks back. Get our dynamo hatch out and ready. And there we go. Now we can go ahead and pop our cables down, connecting it up. Okay. We got one more so far. I will go ahead and plop that down. Which then allows us to go ahead, place the next little hatch, or next section. With a reactor casing there, and then 1, 2. We'll go there. 1, 2. Go put our inputs back. Input. Reactor. Input. I can't wait to see what this kind of like looks like once the multi-block structure is finished. I don't think it'll do anything special besides just meld the colors together, but kind of cool if it rounded off a little bit too. Although I don't think they spent that much time on models for Gregtech. After having experimented with some of the mods like immersive engineering and create, it's kind of cool what some of the multi-block structures do when they put together. But not all of them change, so... And since this one started being designed, like, what, way back in, well, I can't even think about it. This is like 1.7? 1.17 is when the previous one is in. Which, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1.12 was when industrial craft was like getting to be super big. So we're actually pretty close there. Though I do think I'm going to go ahead and pause it for you guys so you don't have to sit through the entire time it takes me to make the last little bit of the superconducting foils. And I will be right back when they're done. Alright, here we are with the last 2 blocks. 1 and 2. And there it goes. Okay. So, the one thing that it did mention you should do is fill up all of the outputs you don't want used. So we're going to go ahead and lock in water into all of the outputs so that these do not fill up with anything else besides water, which means nothing. So I think that's all the way back to our main one. Now we just got to do our insides. And I am so glad that you can use this many hatches, because this would cost an absurd amount of material if you could not use this incredible amount of hatches. I think that brings us back to the start. So with our output hatches taken, looks like we are at our maximum EU. So this is where, now that we've got our fusion reactor, we need to look at making Europium. Which, to get the Europium, where is it? Is it? Solidifier. We need the liquid Europium here. So we need hydrogen and liquid neodymium to make Europium. So that's going to be a lot. Let's go ahead and go get ourselves this. Although, can we do it straight from dust? Because I think that would be the best case if we could. It's like the answer is no. So let's go ahead and put this recipe in here. And we have our large extraction machine there. We'll go ahead and put our liquid neodymium thing in there. And now we're just going to need to store away some hydrogen. So let's grab out some cables and bring over our storage system. We want those 2 spots as well as that one. I guess the one thing I do want to look up really quick with the fluid solidifier, it can be in any one of them. So we'll just have to hook it up to export it directly into that. And we can go ahead and take ourselves this. Means that we'll want a storage bus on that top part. So we want ourselves storage buses. I would like this here. This is something we're going to have to possibly put on a pattern provider at some point. But let's see, we can do, I think we can do what I want here, that and that. And then make sure this is the liquid neodymium. Can we put a crafting card in here? We cannot put a crafting card in here. Okay, so this one's not going to work. Means I don't think this one will either. So we want interfaces. Interface. Do I have any in here? I do. I have 8 in the block form, which is why I didn't recognize they were in there. So we want to include hydrogen in one. So let's do that. Hydrogen gas in this one. And we can set that to like, oh, I guess 4 is the max, so we can have it store in there at any given time. And we're going to have to look at setting this thing up over here again. So let me go ahead and do that with this. We are out of hydrogen once again. Plenty of this stuff stocked up, so I could probably do with shutting this down for now. That's exactly what I'll do. And then now we need this one to be we want it to be neodymium. And then we can insert ourselves a crafting card. Cancel. I should have some actually. Yeah, right there. Okay. I wanted to check before I just start using. We got quite a bit. We shouldn't be too worried about using all of it here in the next few minutes. So, crafting that. Now we should see that pop down here into one of our auto crafters. Doing our circuits. There it is. Yep. Okay, so it's going to go through that motion for a little bit. And it sounds like it's actually... Oh, that is dope. That is cool. And we're already getting some liquid Europium. Very first ingot's worth of it. So we can store this inside of a tank. And so maybe the storage bus is not the best idea. Maybe we do want the interface. Let me go ahead and grab a tank. We could probably just pop it on over here. Liquid Europium. Storage bus and cable. We can swap this thing out for an interface. That is cool. Now the only thing to take a look at, how much energy are we using? Where does it say we're at here? Oh! We're actually positive right now. Is there only 1 amp through it? Yeah, there's only 1 amp flowing through that. It's hooked up to 2 different inputs, but only 1 amp is flowing through it. Looks like that's because it can only take the LUV recipe tier, so I don't think that's going to be overclocked, which is good. But yeah, look at that go. I think we can also do something where we shut this thing off. So let us go ahead and put a block right there. grab ourselves a redstone card and put this in there. Oh, that's not where that goes. Ah. Interesting. So if I want to control a redstone-wise, I do actually have to use an export bus instead of an interface. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate, but let's go ahead and do that instead. Put our crafting card in, our redstone card, and we'll do our liquid neodymium, active without signal, and we will go ahead and grab a lever. If I could spell it right, that'd be great. And I'll go ahead and switch that off. Is it on? It's still on. I guess it's better to check on whether or not we're getting more in a couple of seconds. Or is it just going down? Looks like it's just going down. So that works. You can also go ahead and double check over here that it's not putting any recipes into our crafters. It looks like we're good on that part. So that is that. And now we can just go ahead, go back and tell our machine that does our casting just how to make this liquid europium. It was that one? That one. Come on. Get up here. There we go. So now if I go in here and I order myself some europium, let's say we want like 10. We now have ourselves 10 ingots of europium. Sweet. And now with that, we can actually start to progress towards our crystal CPU chips. That will be having to wait till next time, as finishing up this multi-block structure and making sure it works properly was our very first step. I did want to check our recipes. It looks like, okay, we can make nickel plasma. So there's not a ton. Luteum, uranium-235, liquid osmium from silver and copper. Interesting. Good to know that we have another way to get some osmium if we need it. Chromium. Again, another way to just get more materials if we need it. Ruthenium. Into this thing. Okay. Europium, which is what we're using. Oxygen plasma with carbon and helium-3. But these also require a different tier. We need the Mark II. I see. Got it. Good to know. So this will probably be useful for some other things in the future. And we'll find out that at that point when it comes along. We are going down, right? Yeah, we're still going down. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each one of you, and I would also appreciate a like, a subscribe, and please leave a comment in the comment section. I do read them. I do try to respond. I just got to get in the habit of responding anyways, despite the fact that I feel like I got nothing good to say. Have a great day. Bye.